to episode 144 with the Small Business Network. It's me, your girl, Krissy Redding. And tonight's guest, I am so elated to have, recently, and I'm glad to say she is our newest co host with the Small Business Network. So you will be seeing a lot more of her. Um, tonight's episode is a really, important one. It's entitled Sexual Abuse is Not Taboo. Um, that's a touchy subject for many people. Many people are embarrassed to talk about it. Many people just don't want to, share, or they feel like it's a taboo situation that it shouldn't be talked about. But the truth is, it needs to be. And our guest today is going to dispel all your myths about it. So I'm going to give her the floor. So I want to thank you for joining us tonight. And can you start by introducing yourself and tell us your journey of surviving child sexual abuse?
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Tausha Peoples. I created a movement called Stopping the Science in Homes, and because of that is because am also a survivor of child sexual abuse. I was raped and molested by my biological father when I was years old, all the way to 17, and I dealt with depressions. I dealt with manipulations and confusing by my father, and he kind of make it seem like it was okay when it wasn't, and he was just grooming me, and not just me and my sisters. I have there's four of us girls, so um, so it took a lot out of me, and because I kept quiet and I kept silence for so long, but it was eating me up inside because I knew in my heart like it wasn't right, and that was kind of got me like into writing my book and telling my story, because I wanted to get it out there and wanted to speak out because it's also part of my healing. And so I was just like, you know what? When I was just writing my book, I was just thinking about like, okay, what can I do to really just, get it public publicly and just like announce what happened to me. But it's not just me announcing it, but also just getting other people to speak out as well, and that what got me starting a movement and stopping the silence in homes.
So, what led you to break the silence and speak about your experience? Being that you did just tell us that, you wanted to make sure you speak out. Just what's that motivating factor that led you to this point?
What led me to really speak out was, I guess, when I was like 17 years old, and it was a guy that I was dating. I really liked him, and he, got into with my dad and stuff like that. Yeah, long story. Got into with my dad. And then the next day, I guess he wanted to like kind of like break up with me because the situation with him and my dad got into an argument and stuff. So I was just so like embarrassed, but also scared because then I was like, I want to tell him, but he kind of sensed it. Like I was like, I didn't even say the words. He just automatically just looked at me and said, "Did your dad did something to you?" And I choked up. So when I choked up, and I said, "My dad raped me," and then he just like automatically just grabbed me and took me to the principal office and say, "Hey, you need to tell them what you told me." And I was just so scared and nervous and messed up. Like my mind's like, I'm gonna break my daddy's heart. Like it was like how I felt like I was breaking, but it was like I was gonna like I'm gonna disappoint my father for saying this, because what he did to me. So that's how like I won't say messed up I was, but I was what you would call it, like with too attached. But when I finally broke the silence and stuff like that, it's kind of it did felt good and everything, but I still kind of like held on to it, and what like when kind of like feeling embarrassed, like like oh wow, I waited this long, or I waited this late, I was kind of like blaming myself for waiting this long to speak out, knowing I should, and I know it wasn't my fault. I was just brainwashed and I was manipulated by my father to keep it on the hush hush and everything. Um, but really just like build me up and like speak out more when I was writing my book, and like it was 2 years ago, and I would just like sorry just really just focus on just writing my book, telling my story. And I was like, what can I do to bring something to the community? And I was just thinking about it, like, well, telling my story would bring a lot to the community. And we created a movement, to get people to speak out, tell their stories. I had created a course and stuff and everything to teach people the signs and stuff, to know the signs of predators and stuff, what's going on. And based off my experience as well, grooming, it's very important. Like my dad was grooming me to take care of him, like not just sexually, but take care of him, and he wasn't an ambitious man. He had no money, so he was just trying to raise me and my sisters so he can benefit off of us,
Mhm.
and that would kind of like took me to like, just really focus on that part and everything and help so many people to be aware of that what's going on, even in homes.
Mhm. Girl, I'm so sorry you had to go through all this, but it did make you stronger. I do have to say that.
Thank
So,
you.
you're breaking the stigma, okay? Child sexual abuse it's just been considered a taboo subject for so long. What do
Yes.
you think is the biggest barrier to discuss when it comes down to discussing this issue openly? I mean, how can we break that stigma to encourage more survivors to come forward and tell the truth and tell that this happened to you and tell that I want out. I want to speak about this. I need to heal. What are those barriers you think?
I say I know it will make you feel like it's embarrassing to say or anything, but you speaking out is actually helping you, not just you healing,
Mhm.
but you don't know that other people are just healing just from hearing your story. They kind of got them like, you know what, I could have said this long time ago, or I could have just speak out, but now that, they see other people like they not alone. They're not alone. Because that's what I thought. I was like, I'm alone. I thought like it was just me. Like I thought like, man, I'm the only type of girl that's going through it with her daddy. Like that just, and I was feel so embarrassed. And when I see other kids, they with their dads, my mind be like, dang, I would envy other people fathers because I was like, I want a dad, like I want a real dad that love me and protect me, and and would never do that to me. You took my innocence. I ain't experienced my first with no guy, and then it was like, so but it made me, you know, want to just like speak out and just like maybe, I'm not the only. And when I finally had to speak out about my story, I had people would come to me. It's like, what you said, I went through the same thing. And I was just so much in shock and stuff. I'm like, wow. I mean, even I had a guy that came to me, messaged me and said, my father did that to me. And he's a man, and it was like, wow, and that will make me just go harder because it's like I have to continue speaking out. I have to continue telling my story because I want other people to tell their stories and get help, find a therapy, or counseling. Like spiritual therapy helped with me, I have a therapist as well, but I also learned my spiritual healing,
Mhm.
so it's like I take that very seriously and everything to help me heal even more so. So, but I would say, to people and everything, don't be afraid to speak out. I don't even care how late you is. I don't even care if you in your 30s. I'm 35. And I like be honest, I may have speaked out at 17, but I really didn't speak out till I got in my 30s. I
Mhm.
didn't really say anything till I got my 30s and everything because I felt embarrassed. I was still going through trauma mentally. Even in my 20s, I dated the wrong guys, and everything because of my father. And, depending on a man, I depended on the wrong man because of my father. So I had to like step back and just like, okay, what if I'm doing wrong? And everything was coming to me because of my trauma with my father, because I was still looking for a man that it would take me away from my mind from my father and stuff
Mhm.
and everything of what my dad did to me. So, so I had to like work on myself very heavy, and which is, it helps and everything, but it definitely is the cause of.
Man. So basically, healing and recovery. That's where you are. Healing and recovery. That's a crucial aspect of surviving any type of abuse.
Yeah.
Could you share some of the steps you took to actually heal, both personally and within your support system? And this is kind of a two-part question. And once you tell us that, what advice do you have for survivors who may be struggling in their own healing journey at this point?
I would say, so what got me into my healing, I love to sing. I sing and everything. I love to sing. I do martial arts on the side that help me just, focus on just building myself up and, healing myself because it helped me get closer to God. And so that's kind of like my journey. When I'm just in a phase, I just sing.
Hold
And I
on.
feel
Hold
enlightened
on.
when I sing. I feel enlightened when I sing and stuff. So that's part of one of my healing. I write, I be writing in my journal and stuff and everything. To just to get out, like if I feel any negativities, like I gotta write it down, like I gotta write it down, there you go, and I also, I I do martial arts on the side. Actually, I'm trying to get back into training because I ain't gonna lie, I've been slacking. But I love to do martial arts and I'm into the kung fu type of style and everything. And I know a lot of people look at me like, you don't look like you do this. It's like, well, I like to keep that private from me, but it's okay
That is okay.
and everything. But it's okay. But what I would say to people and everything, find something that's going to make you heal. Everybody's different. Everybody have different ways of healing. So I really don't want to say, but me and my experience, if your healing is your hobbies, work on your hobbies. You do art, that is soothing. That is part of your healing. You sing, that's part of your healing. You work out, that's part of your healing. Like anything that gonna keep your mind off of what you went through, I would say, and not just that. It's okay to speak to someone about it. Don't hold it in. Like talk to someone. I don't care if it be your friends, your family, like somebody that you trust, that know that will be there for you. Talk to them. Tell them what you're going through. Don't hold it in. Or you need to go to therapy or go. We have a lot of resources that can get you into your healing. Like don't ever think that you're not better good with therapists or whatever or counseling and everything. I mean, even if you don't do therapy or counseling, you got family and close friends that will listen to you
Mhm.
and everything, and it will help you. If you have to get it out, I don't even care. Like, if you know somebody that will answer the phone at 9 to 11 midnight, knowing that you're going through something, then talk to them. They're gonna listen to you, and they're out there. You know, I had somebody and everything when I was just going through it. And I also had like I've been depressed for years. So when I know I was holding it in, I even called my sister. She answered, and I tell her what's on my mind. Because if if I didn't talk to somebody, people take their life and stuff so seriously. So but I recommend finding your niche, finding what's like for you,
Mhm.
that can keep you in your healing process and everything. Like I really recommend that, like, to people. Like, don't hold off and stuff, just what you went through.
Oof. So, with that being said, what can those friends or that family member or just the broader community do to support
Mhm.
survivors of child sexual abuse? How can they support them?
Um, I mean, there are some places and resources stuff you can go to. I mean, church is one of them. If you're a religious, church is one of them. Talk to your pastor, talk to your minister. If you are religion, if you're not religion, there are groups and stuff, spiritual healing. Like there are spiritual groups, spiritual retreats. That's what I'm planning on doing next year, going to a spiritual retreats soon. That's my goal. Um, that's in my pocket right there. But spiritual retreat, anything that spiritual can help you heal that you know you need to talk to and everything, if you don't want to do therapies or counseling. And I recommend, like, if you are religious, go to a church. If you're not religious, go to a spiritual retreat or go to a spiritual club, that will, that help you love within and bring it out of you and everything. And sometimes there are things like they have a lot of, I did some research and stuff. They have a lot of group that they have like, people that had trauma. They have trauma retreats and everything. They have like you'll go with a group of people and you get close to nature and stuff like that. And it helps you like, get closer to the earth and stuff like I can go deep into explain it,
Hmm.
but there are things out there that can help you heal. You just got to do your research and everything and what you're looking for.
Right. So, how can we, as the broader community, create a safe and compassionate environment for people that are survivors? Make it compassionate and safe for them to feel like they can be heard and believed, shall I say?
I would say I would my goal, I know I'm gonna put that in a law of attraction because I do want to make that happen. But I want to throw an event
Mhm.
about sexual abuse or any abuse. I want to have people to come out and just tell their story. Like we are here, we're not here to judge. We're here to let you heal, let you speak out. We're not here to talk down on you. We're not here to laugh at you or anything about what you're going through. We are here to hear you and listen to you, and then we can give you advice or any resources to help you get more help. So my goal is if they can do that, I think other states or other communities need to start doing it for other people that's going through it because you never know. And if we can start having like I don't know, create a program for that, that'll be so amazing. So people can come, we can just listen to them and say, "Hey, this is what happened to me," or any kids or teenagers or adults, like it's welcome. We want to bring open arms to people and everything. And I really want that to happen, because I know I needed that for myself. I want to I was trying to find something like who can I just go to and just talk to? That's all I want to do. Just talk to them, you know. And if I think like that, I know other people are thinking like that. They know like what shelter or program can I just go and talk to someone to tell what happened to me because nobody's not listening from my family or at school, nobody's not listening to me. Like we need some type of stuff like that.
Right. Okay, before we go, with all that being said, and you've given us so much great, great, great information, it's led up to what the big goal is. It's not the ultimate goal, but this the big goal for now. Raising awareness. Raising awareness is a very, very powerful tool that can help prevent child sexual abuse. So, with that being said, what initiatives or organizations or resources do you recommend for our listeners who want to get involved in the fight against child sexual abuse and support these survivors, such as yourself?
Um, I'll recommend a lot of people follow me on social media,
Hmm.
Silent Homes, uh, on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. You can follow me. Excuse me, and I get people to speak out. So my goal and what I'm really big is if something like similar story with me, or if you are a victim of child sexual abuse or abuse, I get people to, email me the stories, take a picture and write "Stopping the Science in Homes."
Mhm.
And I post it on Instagram if you want your story to get out and everything. So I get like my goal is to get a lot of people to speak out, men or women.
Right.
Like even men, please don't be afraid to speak out because you're a man. Like other men's needs to hear your stories. So I listen and don't feel embarrassed.
Right.
Or you can get something. I would love to get your story out. And also I created a course. So I sell my course like $116. You'll get a course that will teach you the signs or be aware of child sexual abuse.
Mhm.
Why is it your child is getting groomed, or the signs of a predator, just know and everything. So you won't be blinded at what's going on. If their body language is different, quiet, or they something that like if they know a person that come and they looking kind, you need to talk to your kids on the side. Hey, is anybody messing with you
Right.
that I need to know? Like, don't be afraid to ask your kids questions and stuff. Because there's also parents don't say nothing either.
Right.
They waited till whatever. But if you know in your gut feeling that something ain't right, you need to communicate with your kids. It's very important to communicate with your kids. And
Mhm.
so, because you never know that you're saving their life and stuff. So that's the reason why I'm very heavy on this. My goal is to keep speaking out, do speaking engagements. I hope to be I'm working on starting my own podcast of, just speaking out, telling the signs or getting people educated what's going on in the community. And it's not a taboo to speak out. Like, this is what's going on. It's like when people look at kids and stuff like that, it's going sexual assault. It's like a lot of people want to be on a hush hush. No, you allow these predators to run free and everything, and they don't even get the bad, they don't even get the treatment, like
Mhm.
punishment that they deserve.
Right.
So if we start as a community and just protect our kids, speak out, teach them the signs, even go to schools to learn about good touch and bad touch. I think we need to make
Mhm.
it out more so that kids, even little kids, know when a good touch and bad touch is, so they can
Mhm.
go to an adult and say, somebody touched me right there, and then they're not supposed to touch you there.
Mhm.
And ask some question. Did they how they touched you? Just go deeper into it so you can protect the child. You never know and everything. And I think that's what we need to fight as a community because our kids, they are innocent. Little kids are innocent.
Right.
They don't know anything about sex. So why are these predators are taking these little kids' innocence? They don't know any clue. They don't have any clue about it. They're not grown. They still kids and deserve to be kids.
Right.
So that's the reason why I go hard because what happened to me, 6 years old. I was 6 when it happened. And I'm gonna go even more deeper. I was anally raped at 6 years old. Pain, it's pain. I was bleeding off my butt when I was sitting on the toilet. So I can remember like it's just yesterday because that never left my mind what happened to me. If that happened, I know there are other innocent kids that's going through the same thing, and that's bad. And I also put into my course and stuff the certain bodies how they sit down. If they sitting down and they don't feel comfortable, you better ask your kids what's wrong with them. Oh, hey, what's wrong with your butt? They have to speak. They have to say something. But if you don't say nothing, kids gonna just be in pain silently, like I was. So that's
Mhm.
the reason why I'm putting in the fight. My goal, if I can talk on TVs, podcasts, or anything to get out there, that is what I'm going to do. That
Mhm.
is what I'm going to do. Save another kid's life.
That's great. That's great. And I hope by us talking about this, I hope people understand that we were having this conversation in a respectful manner, and to be informative. And I also hope that this conversation that we've had about this empowers more survivors to share their stories and to contribute to
Mhm.
breaking the silence that surrounds child sexual abuse. Silence in the homes. Silence in the homes. So I appreciate and I thank you so much, Tasha, for, you know, speaking out and doing this. We're looking forward to so
Thank
much
you.
more with you. We're looking forward to more you have to share on your podcast. Not only with the Small Business Network, but when you have your podcast, which should be soon.
Yes.
We're looking forward to more,
Mhm.
but silence in the homes. We will drop the information in the comments section below. Um, and as we always talk about, here at the Small Business Network, we have an abundance of platforms, software, resources, tools that you can utilize, including the podcast that we have, which is typically live, but this time, technical difficulties didn't allow for it, so we came about it this route.
Mhm.
But please still go ahead in the comment section, ask your questions, let us know what you have to say, because we want to know. um you want to tell your story, this is a perfect example of an angels and demons story where you tell us where you either did something good or bad to someone else, or it good or bad has been done to you. Angels and demons story. We love sharing those. We love sharing pain and
Mhm.
pleasure stories, where it's pain and pleasures of the business, whether it's a job or something you own. We have AI technology. We have virtual assistants that can work for you. We have TV, radio, podcasts, the Facebook Live podcast, which is free to host, free to be on here and share whatever it is you need to talk about. I mean, we have so much more I can get into, but I will not remember everything. It is not possible. We have the record company, you have a talent, we have an abundance of resources in which you could utilize with your talents. So, I mean, it's so much we have going on at the Small Business Network, and we accept people with open arms, just like Tasha. So I appreciate this. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you because it's you that keeps us going. So I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful evening. And before I go, I want to make sure Tasha had nothing else she wanted to share. Is there anything else you want to share before we get off?
Well, I also do, if anybody need my services, I have a side business on the side, other than the Stopping the Silence. I do taxes and I'm a mortgage loan originator. So anybody looking to be a first-time home buyer, you can come also find me and ask me questions through my social medias accounts. And I definitely will be there to assist you.
Yes. That's great. And again, all that we're going to drop all that in the comment section. So you don't have to go searching for. It's just a matter of scrolling upward. All right, well, everyone,
Mhm.
I hope everybody has a blessed evening. You have a blessed evening too, Tasha. Seeing more of you really soon, girl. Good night.
See you. Good night.